Hello everybody, in this video we are going to get a brief introduction to one of the most powerful aspects of version control work, which is branches. GitHub makes it very easy to create and manage your branches from the website, from your repository of whatever project you're working on. You can create branches just by going to branches and going to new branch if you want. We're going to work from the GitHub desktop instead though, so let's go back. I've opened up the Unity Git test from last week when we first were introduced to version control, and this week we're going to take it a step further and actually work with branches. So very simply, we just go to the current branch here. We can just create a new branch. I'm going to name this camera animation. Why not? We'll just create that branch. There we have two branches now. We have this main branch and a camera animation branch. I'm going to publish this to the website, to GitHub. So now if we go back to GitHub, we will see if I reload the page that we now have two branches. We have the main branch and the camera animation branch, and currently my active branch, the one that I'm in right now, is camera animation. Let's go back to the main page there. Let's minimize. All right, let's go ahead and do some work in here. And I should have an animation. There we go. I have an animation of my camera moving forward. Excellent. All right, I'm going to save this because that's enough work for today, I think. I'm going to go back up to my Unity GitHub desktop here, and I can see my changes where I played around and did the animation for the camera. So I'm just going to go ahead and commit this change. So let's call this added camera animation. Description is optional. I'm not going to add one this time. This, says it all, I think. Added camera animation. I'm going to commit that. I'm going to push that to my origin. And now if I go to the website, I should have this camera animation branch had recent pushes 6 seconds ago because it updates really, really fast. I can compare and pull request. Excellent. I can also merge. I'm not going to worry about merging right now. I want to keep talking about the branches themselves. So let's discuss them. I have two branches, right? I have this camera animation branch where I made this camera animation, and I have this main branch. The great thing about branches with GitHub and working with them in Unity is this allows you to very easily and very safely experiment with your work. So if you want to do things that you don't know exactly how they're going to turn out and could potentially have disastrous consequences on the rest of your scene, then creating a branch where you can isolate that little bit of work is the best way to go. So, in this case, I have two branches, this camera animation and my main branch. I experimented with adding some camera animation onto my scene in this branch, but I want to go back to my main branch now. So let's see. Yes, as soon as I minimize GitHub, I can see that this message has popped up that the following scenes have been changed on the disk. They changed on the disk because I changed the branch. So the scene has changed a little bit from the camera animation branch to the main branch. I want to reload. And now that I've reloaded, I can see I don't have the animator component for my camera anymore. And if I play the scene, there should be no animation because the animation is isolated to that camera animation branch, which is great. So in this main branch, I'm going to add something else. I'm going to add a cylinder. And I'm going to push that over there. I'm going to push that over here, I should say. That makes more sense. And I'm just going to keep that there. So now my main branch, I have this this basic stuff here that I did, and in the camera animation branch, I have the camera animation itself. So I'm going to save this and go back to my Unity Git test here. I have this change finally. It took a second to upload to update, but it did. I'm going to say I added a cylinder to the scene. And now I'm going to commit this to the main branch. I'm going to push that. Excellent. So now I have two branches that are both a little bit different. This main one has a cylinder now, and this camera animation one has the camera animation and no cylinder. So if we go back, we can reload the scene. We can see now that we have the camera animation back, but the cylinder is gone because the cylinder is isolated to that main branch. And let's go a step further. Let's create one more branch, shall we? Just for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to name this branch What do I want to name it? Test light branch. And I'm going to build it based off the camera animation branch. So this branch won't have the cylinder from the main branch, but it will have the camera animation from the camera animation branch because I'm creating the branch based on this instance of Unity right here, the camera animation branch, as opposed to the main branch. So I'm going to create this branch. We have this. I'm going to publish it to GitHub. Wonderful. In this branch, we still have the animation from the camera, as discussed before. But what we don't have, or what I want to add, I should say, is testing the lighting some more. So let's go ahead and add a, I don't know, maybe we can add in another light. Maybe we can add in a point light. That would be interesting. And maybe we can make this point light bigger range, greater intensity. There we go. That'll be my test light branch. That'll be what the test light branch is all about. So I will save this. Random stuff scene. I will go ahead and push this. I'm going to call this lighting update. Going to commit this to my test light branch. I'm going to push that to the origin. Wonderful. And the final thing I'm going to do in this test light branch, or actually, you know what? I can just go back to the main branch and do it there. Go back to the main branch and do it there. I am going to reload. Again, we're back to the main version of the scene with the cylinder. And the last thing I want to do is scenes. I want to add in. I would like to save this scene as something else. So scenes, I'm calling this additional file scene, just to show you how things are going to transfer over when I eventually merge these branches together. So yeah, okay, let's see. Let's go back up here. Let's added new scene file in GitHub desktop. There we go. Commit to main. Push this to the origin. And there we are. I think that is enough. Actually, you know what? One more thing. I'm gonna make one more branch. I'm going to base it off the main branch, and I'm going to call this the mistake branch for demonstration purposes. I'm going to publish this to GitHub as well. And in this mistake branch, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to just delete everything. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete that. I've deleted everything. Oops, that's a mistake. That's not good. That's a shame. Going to go ahead and say empty scene file. Accidentally deleted everything. Why not? All right. Now we can go ahead and move forward with the next part of this little discussion here. Okay, so let's go ahead and actually discuss what we can do now that we have all of these different branches, because it's great to be able to isolate your work to different branches to test out things in a safe manner. And certainly, if things don't work out, it's a good thing that you can isolate your branches that way. It doesn't affect your other work. But how do you actually start putting things together? Well, in our branches menu, let's go ahead and open up the main branch. And let's go back into Unity. Should get a request to reload. There we go. Nice. Making sure that the branch we want everything merged to is currently our currently selected branch. We can go up to branch. We can go to merge into current branch. We can select the camera animation, for example, and we can create a merge commit. Or we can squash and merge, or we can rebase. Let's just create a merge commit for simplicity's sake. Let's see, one conflicted file. All right, so let's see. We can choose to either use the modified file from main or the modified file from camera animation. Probably from camera animation will be the best choice, since the one from main hadn't doesn't really have anything to it, and I prefer the one in camera animation anyway. So now we can continue our merge. And now we can push to origin. And now we still have that test light branch, but our main branch here should include... Oh, because I am in the wrong scene. Go back to the random stuff scene. Yes, there it is. Now that we're in the correct scene file, we can see that my animator is there, and if I were to play the scene, then the camera animation is there from the camera animation branch. Wonderful. Let's merge something else. So into our current branch, let's go ahead and merge the test lighting as well. Let's go ahead and create a merge commit. No conflicts this time, so let's go ahead and push to origin. Let's go ahead. We can see that the following scene has been changed on disk. Let's reload. There's our lighting. We have our lighting. We have our camera animation from the two separate branches. There we go. And finally, we have this mistake branch. We don't want to merge the mistake branch, obviously, so there's a few things we can do. We can keep it here, as well as these branches. We can also keep these branches here if we want to. We can rename a branch, you know, in this case, test light. I completed my work for it, so I can just go ahead and rename it to signify that I'm done working in that branch. I can rename camera animation to completed. And this mistake branch, I can just keep it and just never merge it to my main branch, which is fine. That's perfectly acceptable. I can enter my mistake branch and go through my history. In this case, the empty scene file. This empty scene file here. And yeah, this empty scene file where I deleted everything. This I can just go ahead and revert the changes in the commit to get rid of that, or I can just fully delete the branch entirely, which in this case I will do. So we can go ahead, we can go to delete. We can say yes, delete this branch on the remote, delete that, and now the branch is gone forever. So branches are something that you should really experiment with yourself and try doing stuff with yourself. It is a really, really, really powerful tool in regards to version control. It is the reason why version control is just so incredibly used and just so overused in game development in general. You really want to make sure that you can isolate your work safely and work from branch to branch, and then merge all your branches together when you're finished with your work. That is how the branch system works in that is how the branch system works in version control, and it is one of the best features of it. It is the reason why people use it so much. I hope you got something out of this. If you have more questions, we'll continue to play around with branches in the classroom and in other videos, but for now, this has been a brief introduction to how branches work with GitHub and Unity. Thank you very much for watching.